So, does you support the Dream Theater? So, can you tell me your influences? Except Dream Theater.
As I said before, first bass-wise, big influence was Red Hot Chili Peppers, obviously. And then I developed also other styles, and I started to listen to other stuff. And obviously, as you said, Dream Theater, and I'm a huge fan of Rush, Tool, Nevermore, Porcupine Tree, Pain of Salvation, anything that it's also prog in a way. But not only, I mean, I also like bands like Grudge, or who I have so many. My collection is full. Queensryche, and as I say, even Steven Wilson as a solo artist really attracts me a lot. And Radiohead when I was still young, but I still follow them a lot. And Opeth.
Opeth, nice.
I'm a prog guy, so I come from that.
Cool. So you have a big of CDs and vinyls?
CDs and vinyls and special editions. I have 3-4 editions from the same album, and I don't even know where to put all these things. I collect any sort of digipack and media book, everything. And yes, do still buy physical copies. Thank you.
Yes. Buy stuff.
Always do. Buy stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just a little problem now these days with the laptops because they're made without the CD insert. And
that's the reason why I use this one. I still has a CD. It's 12 years old, this MacBook, and it's still kicking.
Wow. I just buy for €30 a external one, hook it in, and just rip all my CDs, so I have them digital.
At least.
Well, I listen to my CDs.
Even my car has no CD player, right? So.
Okay, at least my car has a CD player.
Mine like 12 years.
No CD player. I asked when I bought the car. I really asked, can I have a CD player? I will pay extra for that. No possible.
Oh, wow.
I want to have it.
Of course. You have a big collection, so you need.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm looking at all these digipacks there, and I want to listen to them, and I can't. As you said, you have to rip it off, then transfer it on your device, and then playing them. And maybe you need time for that. And I have thousands of them, so
it's like crying.
Yeah,
that's my family person. So like every Christmas, my sister gets a CD, my dad, me, and then I'm like 1 hour all the CDs unpacking, doing them into laptop, ripping and giving everyone all the songs to share all the music.
Exactly. Today I received, for example, the brand new Steven Wilson album and the Transatlantic new album, and I cannot listen to them if I have to drive somewhere.
Crying.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really frustrating sometimes.
It is, yeah. Let's get back to Serenity, maybe.
No problem with that.
Yeah. Can you tell us more about Memoria?
Well, Memoria was an idea we had, especially after the tour cancellations. Since the band really likes to play acoustic. And we really tried it in 2 occasions in the past. 2019 we did a Hard Rock Cafe show in our, let's say, hometown here in Innsbruck, and 2 days later we were at Wacken Winter Nights and it worked perfectly, and the response was amazing. And then we started to think maybe we could repropose that. And in between the tour cancellations and the pandemic and so on, we decided we want to try to gather some response, and we started this fantastic crowdfunding because the people really reacted and supported it a lot. And we will release a live Blu-ray and a CD, an acoustic CD with a lot of guests. But at the moment we were not allowed, it was not possible for us to record the show. And that's unfortunately not up to us. It's completely useless, as we previously said in other streaming situation. It's useless to give an appointment or a certainty, or we just need to be allowed to record it because it's a live CD. So it has to be like that. We have to make it happen. But since the idea, it has never been possible anymore. So we have everything ready. Everything is there. Everything is prepared. The set list is prepared. The guests are involved, and everyone would be ready to, let's say, set up the show, because we also have to set up the show and put it up, because we never were allowed to meet anymore. So that's something really not in our hands. But we are really, really looking forward. Like, I have a lot of people really excited about the show, and originally planned like it is. It's 2 special shows
In Germany.
In Austria.
Austria.
In Austria, in Kufstein. It's the last town here in Tyrol before the German border. And we have 2 shows planned, one day after the other, with limited seats. But the limitations also will change, and maybe already changed compared to back then. So I cannot even tell for granted what will be in the future when they will announce different regulations. So I don't even dare to say it will be like that or like that, because it's not up to us, right? So as we said before in previous occasions, it will happen, but we don't know when and how.
And Clementine is rejoining you for the occasion?
Yes, that's the plan. That's the plan. She will join us, of course.
So you are going a bit back to the roots.
Yes, exactly. We will have a few songs from the time where she was with us, and I'm pretty sure the fans will like it. And we will have a lot of fun in rehearsing and preparing this older songs, and there will be a lot of surprises and nice things as well. So I don't want to spoil too much. It would be a pity, right? But it's so much time that we don't even know when, that it's also frustrating for us. Obviously.
Yes, it's like waiting to happen, but when it will be big.
Yeah, it's not under your control, and that's pretty difficult.
So I'm wondering, because I saw the pre-order and so on. So pre-order depends on the live show, right?
Yes.
Cool. So the CD when will be like when everything happens.
I hope really we can make it as soon as possible.
But there were some live shows in Austria during summer, was it?
Yes, there was this clouded time in between the lockdowns where they, as I always say, and I'm not ashamed of that, they opened the cages. The sheeps were all out. And now we are paying consequences.
Okay.
I don't care what everyone says, but it is like that. And it shouldn't have been, in my opinion. Maybe we would have had a little bit more things under control. But
well, here in Ireland, the pubs never reopened. We did not had any shows, completely nothing, and we're still in
but it
lockdown.
was really. Don't worry, I wasn't lucky enough even to get to see one of these shows because it was just a really short time.
Interesting, like
I don't even remember where and when. I wasn't able to. I think I was quite busy with producing at that time, and I had to take advantage of the time because we were allowed to record again. That I wasn't focused on anything else. So I do remember in the summer there were some shows and stuff. After that, everything then was cancelled again.
Yes, so you became the cave person working on the recordings, making sure it's done.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted at least to do that, but at one point it wasn't even possible anymore.
Can imagine.
So Fabio, can you tell me about the social media? Are they helping these things, or and if yes, in which ways?
Well, we are still a growing band, right? So every album we still reach new fans in new places. We get to play new, I don't want to say countries, but in some occasions we even get to play in new countries. And social medias are obviously helping us to expand our fan base also when we can't reach those areas, right? So it's important to keep the fan base alive and growing, and obviously we are still in a time where every move we do also with planning a tour and combining with some social media events it's very, very crucial for us. So we can't leave it for a second, but our influence on the market or in the growth of this fan base is always little by little. So we have to make a huge effort to have a little step ahead all the time, because we are definitely not a glamorous band, right? We are not Iron Maiden or Metallica or who else, and our steps ahead are always minimal. But
exactly.
Because of this minimal step, you need a lot of effort.
Yeah, they need to work on social media if the people wants to know.
Yeah, we try to also during the pandemic, of course, there had to be something new coming along, and it's also not that easy to create content that has a special character and as an attraction, right? We are, let's say, overloaded in these weeks, months, now a year of content.
Yeah.
And as a fan, I always ask myself, what kind of content do I like to follow? Because there is so much at the moment that sometimes it's even too much because there is no content.
But also,
we like to give content.
Yeah,
Yes.
but also the album, like pandemic comes and every band is like, I need to record an album, and then you have an album there, that album there, and I'm like, what am I going to listen like much?
That's an old topic. I mean, do you provide content at the same time where everyone is provided content, or you don't do anything and then you get on the side list? It's a fine line between all these characteristics, as you just said, what kind of album, for example, we just released an album, so we wanted to provide an acoustic album, a live album, but we were not allowed to do that. And this could have been a special content, something that we didn't do so far, something special that will not happen anytime soon, let's say. And that's content, in my opinion. That's something special that you can give in a special time. If you just keep doing your things like nothing happened, I think it's as you said, when you are in a moment of hypersaturation, then you don't know what to choose, and therefore also the quality isn't evaluated.
Yeah, that's cool. So,
actually, I want to ask, can you tell us the story? How did you join the band? How did that happen?
Oh, well, that's interesting. I 2007, I was involved in the third album of the French metal opera and band Fairyland. And I do remember some discussions with Phil, the band leader from Fairyland, in having different guests joining the album. And I do remember him saying something about Serenity. And then we wanted to meet for some pre-production, some demos. And I joined him in Lyon, France. And I do remember at that time, Serenity was touring with Kamelot during their first album, and they were supporting Kamelot exactly in Lyon. And so we decided to visit the show and then talk to Georg about the possible cooperation in this album. And then he accepted, and we stayed in contact because he would have recorded for us 3-4 songs for the new album from Fairyland. And then he, the following year, I think it was, he joined my recording studio in Italy, and he came to Italy to record these 3-4 songs. And then obviously we stayed in contact, and I was following Serenity growing. And somewhere in summer 2010, I received an email from him asking me if I want to join the band. Because their bass player, Simon, would leave the band. And I was excited and interested, obviously. And I traveled via train to Tyrol, and I did my first audition for my first rehearsal. And first we thought, just to make it clear and nice to everyone, I want to play at least one full show with the band before confirming me as a full member, was a new member. So we gave each other some time to think about it from August till the first show. The first show was October the 1st, Prog Power Europe in the Netherlands. And we were headlining the first day. So it was a long set list, so where we could really see if we like each other. And everything went pretty fine. And so afterwards, we decided together I am part of the band. So I'm now in the band since 11 years.
Oh, amazing.
So how does it feel like? Does it feel that you're in the right place?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it has been quite a journey with them, you know. We did so many shows and so many tours, and 11 years ago I was rather younger than now and less experienced. So with Serenity, I had the opportunity to grow as a musician, as a touring musician, as a studio musician, and growing as a person in general. And we did so many experiences. We traveled so many countries, all over the world, and wherever we played, we have made a lot of experiences. And I cannot think of my life without these 11 years.
And is there any like your favorite country or maybe some favorite tour that you had?
Well, we have had many, I have to say. Well, obviously, also in this occasion, I can say playing in the Rock Power US 2 times, and I've already been there with my previous band as well. So 3 times for me, it has always been super great, like a great experience. The festival is amazing, and I miss the community there. And of course, for us as a band from here playing in Germany, it is always great, I have to say. And Germany is also the country where we have the last 2 albums charted the highest position. So that's also a response in the sales that makes you grow and grow every time. So definitely German shows are always great for us. And I also always mention the festival in Germany called Rock Hearts, because maybe that was my favorite festival we played so far. Perfect size, perfectly organized, 2 main stages, great atmosphere. I felt really great there, and I'm always happy and blessed that we played that show. It was also incredible experience to play in Israel. Thanks to the desert guys. We played in Tel Aviv, 2016.
Amazing. How
was
was
also
it to
amazing.
play in Tel Aviv?
It was great. I can just tell you, being in Tel Aviv and then next day visiting Jerusalem was something special. Definitely. Something that I would have ever expected so deep and so special. And we were really about to finish Lionheart, so it was perfect for us to be in that context. And it was incredible. I do remember a night in the Jaffa Harbor, and it was magic, I have to say. Really magic.
And have you ever been to Russia?
We had to play Russia last year, and it's scheduled again to this year. Big Guns Festival in Moscow. And this would have been the first time for us in Russia. What I was really looking forward, and I am still looking forward, but as you know, same old story.
Yeah, everyone usually have some interesting stories from Russia.
I was looking forward to that, but didn't happen.
Yeah.
Would have been the 5th of July. Greece?
Yeah.
No, unfortunately not.
Okay, interesting.
I would really love to play Greece, of course.
Good food.
Yeah, definitely, and great atmosphere, of course. And the historical part for us is always very important. So being involved in such environments, it's amazing.
We were playing to 70,000 tons of metal.
We did.
Oh,
we actually did. 2017. It was also a hell of experience traveling wise for us.
Tell us more.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was supposed to be like that. Me and Nick back then, because Chris wasn't able to play the show. So Nick, our beloved friend and guitar player, technician, best dude on earth, would have played the show with us. And we were supposed to, me and him, travel first, and Georg and Andy would have joined the next day. But what happened is, when we arrive in Düsseldorf airport, we can't travel to Amsterdam airport and then have a coincidence to Miami or to Fort Lauderdale because of a blackout. So we have to cancel our flight. We tried any way to reach Miami from another side. I do remember, for example, Axis, the band Axis, traveling via Dubai and in the end making it almost like us. And we had to stay. And so this was already kind of weird. Next day we meet our bandmates, but I don't know for which reason. Then we arrive in Miami very late, and the cruise was about to set sail, and they literally waited for us like we were like 15 minutes before the departure. It was very stressful. And then we immediately would have had to play the show, or like the same evening, with time difference and jet lag, and something went really wrong on stage with some technical thing. My pedals blew off on stage, so everything was broken, and the show was just not working. It was just not good for us. Yeah, exactly. And so we couldn't wait to let's say make ourselves up and play a better second show, because you always play 2 times.
Yes.
But we had to wait until the end of the cruise to play the second show. And our second show was at, I think, 10 in the morning or so. And
crazy.
Yes, so we have been then called ourselves the breakfast band.
Breakfast band.
And the people really liked it, and that show went pretty good. Compared to the Yes, it was at the ice rink, and it was pretty good show, but still 10 in the morning or so.
Yes. But in this cruise people don't sleep, so
Not true, but we
yes.
not easy to sing and play at that time,
Wow, 10 o'clock.
But we made it. Everything worked in the end.
Yeah, that's weird how sometimes things turns out this way, and like everything is just preventing you to be there.
Yeah.
Oh, you have no idea. Also, the second time when we when we played the last time Prog Power US, we weren't able to return home because of the hurricane.
Oh,
So what happened exactly?
Yeah, we were. We actually wanted to make it like that, combining a little bit vacation and the Prog Power US show. And we arrived the US a little bit in advance in Miami, stayed there, then we traveled with some rental cars up to Atlanta in Georgia, and in the meantime there was this hurricane thing coming, and everyone would then drive south rather going north like we were doing, and we had our flights booked to go back to Europe, and we weren't able to, because from no airport they would have departed. And I think we had to stay out 2 days, and then the only chance we had was driving up to Chicago. So we have traveled, I don't know, 26, 27 hours. And that was the only place we have found a flight back home.
wow.
And then the best is yet to come, because our flights were scheduled with Air Berlin, which at that time was bankrupt, was going back to bankruptcy. And so it was the flights were canceling also because of the strike. Yeah. So finally we made it from Chicago to Berlin, and then we arrive in Berlin, and this flight is a little late, and then we find out that we cannot fly to Munich because this flight is also canceled because of the strike. and they put us in a flight to Nuremberg, and so also we lost hours and hues and stuff, and then we arrived Nuremberg and our equipment wasn't there. So we had to drive from Nuremberg home without anything.
Wow.
Crazy.
That's typical. I would say who knows us knows that this is typical Serenity. We are not really lucky with this traveling.
So looks like you need to get yourself a plane.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're like
that's
Iron
always-
Maiden.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. But we are not Iron Maiden, like I said before, so I think it's a little complicated.
And who will be the pilot?
But-
Well,
Georg, of course, he has all the licenses possible. Yeah,
Okay.
he has all
And-
licenses, so I'm pretty sure he will also co-pilot or pilot this.
Good stuff.
And about traveling, I'm wondering, so you've seen the Italian scene, you grew up there and you went to Austria. So I'm wondering what's the differences and similarities between these two scenes and differences.
Well, I would say that the main difference is that in Italy, I always had the impression we are obviously more, and so there are way more bands, way more musicians. There are really a lot of musicians, especially where I grew up, and the scene is really. You have the impression there are more musicians than people who would listen. So every second person has a band, you know. And then you struggle to have a little crowd for yourself because everyone has a band. And around here is a little bit different because, especially in the metal scene, there are bands, but not so close to each other. So it's a little bit diverse. You cannot really, I have to say, you cannot really compare the two situations because of the density of population. So where I come from, it's a higher percentage of people living there, and here is lower. And it's also different market. And so therefore the bands are also behaving differently. So also development of the band and how the band is growing then to have first shows and grow in a scene is a different. That's the main difference, I would say.
So where is easier to grow a band?
I don't think I can say there is a easier market. I think both places have advantages and disadvantages. I would say for a local band, the advantage is being so close to Germany, which opens up a bigger market for metal music.
Yes.
And for an Italian band, it's difficult to reach the bigger market and be closer to where more things are happening in this market, because everyone will agree with me that in Europe, Germany is a pretty strong market.
Of course.
And either you're Austrian, you're German, or you're Italian, you need to be present in Germany. To play in Germany. And someone just quoted that we played in a little town in Bavaria. Well, we played in many places, and maybe it means dolphin in Bavaria. But we have played many places, or maybe he means willows. I don't know. I've played many places so far. So. No, this is not our market. This is not our thing. But its aim of musicians is in the local scene is playing Oktoberfest, of course. It's a lot of income.
And
But
so you say that you've been in many countries. So the difference between the crowds, is there any? How the crowd reacts?
Yeah, definitely. Even in the same country, from north to south, and from border towns to towns in the middle. Yeah, dolphins. I remember, and definitely also southern countries, obviously, and northern countries. I mean, it's not always stereotype. Like, it's not always the same.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you're surprised by some crowds, and you also, all over the years, you noticed, if you played in a town or in a venue more often, you feel it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're new in a place, you feel it. This is something we really know. We are barely not knowing what to expect.
Okay.
Because we really know our crowds. And I don't want to say we have a favorite crowd, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's also not fair. I think everyone deserves the same attention.
Mm-hmm.
And we play for everyone at the same time, even if there's one person in front. This person has paid a ticket, so everyone deserves the same energy from us. But we definitely know what we, or sort of know what we will get, because people are behaving in a certain way in that place or in that place, even according to the venue, I have to say, because that venue, that club maybe has a sort of type of visitor category.
Mm-hmm.
So we know those people because maybe we have played there 10, 15, 20 times. And so definitely we notice differences, yes.
And Fabio, what is the secret to keep the lineup? Because now you are from 2011 with Serenity, right?
Yes.
Yeah, how difficult is to keep the same lineup, the band together, as we nowadays you bands disbanded, so.
Well, you have to find stability. Not only in the lineup when we record albums, but obviously when you go live.
Mm-hmm.
And touring, it's not always an easy job, so you need to have a stability live as a lineup that performs in front of people and is solid,
Mm-hmm.
can perform, can sing, can be yeah. It has to be something you feel like unique, and it has to stay. It's like it doesn't have to shake all over the performances, and there has to be an average outcome that has to be sufficient to make you feel like this is the right lineup and so on. And I think over the years we have found that now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the reason why we are feeling that way. We are in this lineup. So keeping the lineup like it is obviously something you have to try during the years in different contexts, but especially with a live format, you really get the knowledge and self-confidence, and that's important for you to understand if the lineup is staying or not.
Yeah, it's a teamwork.
Yeah,
it's like a football, you have to.
Absolutely, you play as a team.
Yes.
So everyone has his own roles, duties, and everything has to work like a mechanism. And obviously, when it doesn't work, then you gotta do changes, right? But when the team works fine, then you don't change.
Yeah. So I'm wondering because you did in 2016 a tour with Tasha and you supported Tarja. So I'm wondering, how did the tour come together? And are you going to do any collaborations with Tasha?
The cooperation was long. Like, Tasha has been with us for years, also in different sequences, and we have toured with her, and she has been with us in many situations. And now we are not at the moment touring together, but at that time when we supported Tarja, she was with us.
And I wonder, how did you get then the opportunity to tour with Tarja?
That's a good question. I don't remember how the tour came along, honestly, because I'm not doing the booking. But I do remember that was really intense. The shows were great, and I think we fit pretty well together, honestly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the tour was. The shows were really great. The shows really nice and well managed. Definitely.
And I wonder, Tasha, because it was a good reception from the audience, but yet you decided to part ways with Tasha, if I understand correctly from the situation.
I wouldn't say part ways, because when you have a guest musician, you never part ways. Right? So I never would say our doors are closed. Right? So maybe it happens again in the future, maybe not. I don't know. But I would say with a guest musician, it's always coming and going. You know, at that time you need to do it. You feel like both parts wants to do it, and then there is a natural fade out, and maybe you get a fade in again. You never know.
But there are any like ideas to have a female singer like constant in the band?
We have had Clementine back then as a fixed member in 2013 in this area.
In the future.
But in the future, yeah, I was going to say back then we had this experience which made us go back to the roots with Codex Atlanticus, where we decided not to do that anymore and only have guests. So when we have the opportunity, we have a female singer touring with us, and when it's not the occasion, or we feel like we stick to the 4-piece lineup, then we go without. And that's the advantage of having guests. You can choose depending on the context.
Okay, when all this over, what is the first thing that you're looking forward to do?
Play a show. Making the Memoria show possible. And from there, starting or having a fresh start with everything and going on the road again.
And what is your favorite album? Serenity or all the same?
No, I'm not ashamed to say The Last Night is my favorite. It's an album that I really like to listen also in my spare time. Which is the last one, of course.
Yes.
Cool. So we will definitely be waiting for the future shows. Hopefully we'll see you sometime at some.
If everyone keeps the positive thought, I think it will happen soon.
Maybe even in Ireland, because we were here very long time ago. So it's definitely due to come.
Hopefully, and I wish the Irish fans are requesting for that. So,
well, we are.
We are.
That's a start. That's a start. And thanks for the job that you're doing.
Thank you very much, Fabio. Thank you.
So thank you for joining, and all the friends for participating with the questions, watching, and don't forget to subscribe below as we are back with a new interview. And also don't forget to follow and join our group to stay in touch with the Metal Galaxy. And we will post all links of the bands so you can buy the merch and support them.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Really appreciate it.
No worries.
Thanks all the viewers. Good night.
Good night. Bye.
Good night. Thank you very much for watching.